Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Well, you may be asking yourself, what is Transcendentalism? Let's go to our expert, Noah Rickardson, to find out.
Hi, I'm Noah Rickardson, Transcendentalist expert. I heard you had a few questions about what Transcendentalism is. Well, let's start off by answering a few basic questions. Like, what is it? Well, Transcendentalism takes on the identity that all things in humanity and nature are good and equal in the universal spirit. And so everyone, including me and you, are all good, so nothing is bad. Kind of a positive outlook on life. Sean, take them through clip 2.
Question 2. What does Noah mean by that? Well, I think what Noah was trying to say was that all things part of the natural world, including nature, God, and humans, are all part of a universal soul. Therefore, nothing of the natural world is insignificant, because it's all a symbol of the universal soul. Isn't that neat?
Yes, it is.
And now on to question 3. Take it away, Noah. Hey, Noah, catch!
Thanks. Question 3. Are hippies and transcendentalists the same thing? By God, they're not. Now let me tell you why. I could understand your view that you would think they would be, because they both are very rebellious and very in tune with nature. But the difference comes in that hippies rebel against pretty much everything put forth by society, and transcendentalists only rebel against the so-called truths put forth by society. Now, most people in society find their strength and truth in religion and God, but the transcendentalists, they find their truth in a person's own intuition.
This is the part of the video in which you are allowed to ask questions. Press pause on your video player at this time.
Yes, it is.
Now that you have a better grasp on things, why don't we talk about something else? Say, I know, Transcendentalist poets. One of the most influential authors of the Transcendentalist movement was Ralph Waldo Emerson. Now, Emerson could quite possibly be the most important figure in the Transcendentalist movement. His essay, Nature, was what started the Transcendentalist movement officially. Now, Emerson was born May 25th, 1803 in Boston, Massachusetts. After he had grown up, he began making a living as a popular lecturer in the New England area. He also helped contribute to The Dial, which was Transcendentalism's main literature work. Now, on top of being an essayist, Ralph Emerson was also a famous poet. One of his poems, the Rhodora, is what I am about to recite. In May, when sea winds pierced our solitudes, I found the fresh rhodora in the woods, spreading its leafless blooms in a damp rock, to please the desert and the sluggish brook. The purple petals, fallen in the pool, made the black water with their beauty gay. Here might the red bird come his plumes to cool, and court the flower that cheapens his array. Rhodora! If the sages ask thee why this charm is wasted on the earth and sky, tell them, dear, that if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own excuse for being. Why thou wert there, O rival of the rose, I never thought to ask, I never knew, but in my simple ignorance supposed the self-same power that brought me there brought you. We can see many of the themes that we talked about earlier are present in this poem. For example, this poem itself is about a flower found in the woods, which brings a very, shall we say, nature-y image to mind. Another theme that we talked about is that universal soul, that we're all part of it. An example of this in the poem is, The self-same power that brought me there brought you. This is discussing that the same power that placed me here as a part of this universal soul also placed you, a part of nature, there. We are one. We are together.
Wow, that is intense. Another famous Transcendentalist poet is Margaret Fuller. She was born May 23, 1810 in Cambridgeport, Massachusetts. She was a very intelligent child who received a high-skilled education from her father. Her father was a successful lawyer and later congressman. She attended several schools and continued to educate herself, learning German and Italian, and would later do translation work. Her father's death brought about financial problems for the family, and she became responsible for the education of her younger siblings. She taught school, but that gave her too little time for her writing. Later in her life, she was close friends with most of the intellectuals of Boston and Concord, especially Emerson, and would spend weeks at a time visiting his home, teaching him German and talking. From 1840 to 1842, she served with Emerson as editor of The Dial, the magazine which was the previously mentioned main source of literature for the Transcendentalist movement. In 1843, The Dial published her most famous essay, The Great Lawsuit, Man vs. Men, Women vs. Women. Some of her most famous poems would be The Passion Flower, The Highlands, and Winged Sphinx. We can see evidence of Transcendentalism in her poems, specifically in The Passion Flower, in which she talks about the beauty of a flower given to her. Awesome, right?
Gee, wasn't that exciting?
Yep.
I hope you have a better understanding of what Transcendentalism is, because we sure do.
See you later.